Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. My guest today is Britt Michaelian, and we're talking about holidays, life, living your dreams, all good stuff before the end of the year. Wow, I cannot believe that 2011 is almost over. I'm actually kind of glad that it's almost over. Britt, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Okay, so we were talking about holidays, stress, managing it, staying organized. I mean, you really cannot go flying all over the place trying to get everything done because there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a life coach, as an artist, do you think, how important is it to establish tradition for our children at the holidays, regardless of what holiday you celebrate?
Yeah, I think it's so important. It's such a good question. It's such a good topic to bring up because I think that traditions and rituals really help children to kind of understand their identity. It's sort of, as they go through their life, it helps them to feel a sense of security knowing that the same thing's going to happen at the same time every year or every week or every day for that matter.
It helps when your daughter is in her 20s also.
Yeah, it still helps me. I think it helps at any age, but if you sort of get them rooted in that at a young age, it helps to really form their identity.
Right. And, whether it's through food or whether it's through storytelling or whether it's through family time or whatever that is, whatever that tradition is, I know that it does carry through sort of the fiber and the thread of their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I was raised in a family with two parents who worked very hard, and the only time that we were pretty much guaranteed to spend time with my parents if they weren't working was at dinner. And sometimes we would have dinner very late at night, but my sister and I would have to sit down with them every single night at dinner.
Right.
And that was a really smart thing of my parents to do. And I think for all parents, if you can, having that nighttime dinner ritual is sort of it's the same type of thing as having the holiday rituals, and the holiday traditions.
Yeah, I had the same thing as well. And I'll never forget being so surprised when my daughter, when she was little, would bring friends over for dinner and we'd all sit down at the dinner table together. And that's what you did. And and some kids said, "Do you do this every night?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We never have dinner together as a family. I've always found that so sad. And it doesn't matter what you're eating. It's just the fact that you're all there together at the end of the day.
Right.
Britt, how do people find you? What's the best way for them to find you? Because you have several websites.
Yeah, I do. You know what? If people really want to connect with me, Twitter is probably the best way. I'm at Mama Britt, Britt, and it's MAMABRITT. Twitter is pretty much the best way. And then I've got Work Smart Lifestyle. And, another thing
That's how I found you was through Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that I'm doing right now, or another company that I'm building is Girlfriends Productions, and we're doing social media girlfriends. And I just wanted to say that, we do these mini chats every day on Twitter where we are connecting with women talking about things like, from at 9 a.m. to about 9:30 Pacific time, we're talking about things like shopping, and it's just a great, and then at the same time we're playing songs for each other and putting up YouTube videos that get you in a good mood. And it's just a great way to kind of take a break from the day and get some positive energy. And it's so good this time of year because it really makes you feel festive and puts a smile on your face.
And that website is what?
It's actually just on Twitter, and it's the hashtag #SMGirlfriends. And the website for that one is Social Media Girlfriends.
Okay, because not everybody's on Twitter.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook, and then we're also on we're all over the place. YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a great place to connect for people who are looking to connect with other women. That's something that, a lot as entrepreneurs, we feel so isolated, especially if we're working at home. So it's nice to be able to connect with other women who are doing kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I always say that my computer is my boyfriend.
Yeah. I think my husband feels the same way. He gets a little jealous.
Mine definitely does.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
So let's go back to the business thing because I really want to focus as we sort of, round out the end of the year. Who doesn't want to live the life of their dreams? And yet so many people are not doing it.
Yes.
So what's that about?
Yeah, I think, well, there are different issues that come up. Some people feel like they have to do a certain job or have a certain business because that's what's bringing in the money for them, and they can't even fathom stopping doing that because they've got bills to pay and families to support.
And that's understandable.
Exactly. So that's one scenario. Then there are other people who have businesses that, they don't necessarily need to be running. They could shift directions, but they're just afraid. Mm-hmm. And I think fear stops us from doing so much in our lives. And so, that we have to really be honest with ourselves about what it is that we're afraid of. Are we afraid of failure? Are we afraid, and people have a lot of irrational fears, too.
False evidence appearing real.
Yes, exactly. So I think, that's, again, why it's so important to do the work of really understanding yourself. There are a lot of quotes that you see, from business leaders and from people who have done extraordinary things, and they say that in order to do great work, you really have to start with yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's extremely important for the entrepreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur, because you're basically doing all of the work based on yourself and your own strengths and your own experiences. So if your business is not based on something that is one of your strengths, you're going to be struggling.
Right, right. Well, I was watching the Barbara Walters show the other night, the 10 most fascinating people, whatever. And she was interviewing Donald Trump, and she said, whether you like him or not, he made a brilliant statement. She said, so what are you afraid of? And he looked her in the eye and he said, I wouldn't tell you if I knew, because then it would make it real.
Right.
And I thought, what a great answer.
Yeah.
He said, I wouldn't share that with you. He says, I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah. He says, I guess I'm afraid of getting bored, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I love that he said that, because it's, a lot of the things that we're afraid of, if we focus attention on them, they just get bigger and bigger. Right?
Oh, yeah, they do.
If we don't focus on them and we focus on what is working or what we do love or our passions, then, that gets bigger too. So it's your choice.
Right. All right. Stay with us. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back with Britt. Hi, I'm Cindy